In every person's life, there's a silent battle we all must fight, not against others, but against ourselves. Have you ever felt a deep calling to create something meaningful, to write a book, start a business, compose music, or simply change your life? Yet every time you try to begin, something inside holds you back. You find yourself hesitating, doubting, procrastinating, and you don't even know why. If this sounds familiar, then The War of Art by Steven Pressfield is the book you've been waiting for. It's not just a motivational read. It's a battle plan, a spiritual guidebook for anyone struggling to overcome fear, self-doubt, and inner resistance on the road to creating their best work. Pressfield, with his sharp and honest voice, introduces us to a universal enemy of creativity called resistance, an invisible force that rises inside us whenever we attempt something meaningful. It's that voice whispering, "Do it later," the distraction that keeps you scrolling, or the fear that says you're not ready yet. He calls resistance the most toxic force on the planet, because it quietly kills dreams, silences talent, and convinces us to settle for less than we're capable of. The truth is, the closer you get to your true calling, the stronger resistance becomes. That's why fear is not a bad sign. It's a compass. If something scares you deeply, that's exactly what you're meant to pursue. In the first part of the book, Pressfield helps us recognize resistance in all its disguises: procrastination, self-sabotage, self-dramatization, addiction, and even the fear of success. Yes, success. Because deep down, many of us aren't afraid to fail. We're afraid of discovering how powerful we truly are and of being different from the people around us. Recognizing this truth is the first step to freedom. In the second part, Pressfield gives us a strategy to win this inner war: turning pro. The difference between an amateur and a professional isn't talent. It's mindset. Amateurs work when they feel like it. Professionals show up no matter what. They don't wait for inspiration. They trust that showing up is what brings inspiration. The professional treats their craft like a sacred duty. They sit down every day, rain or shine, sick or tired, and they do the work. They focus on the process, not the praise. They face fear, but act anyway. They understand that fear never disappears, and courage isn't the absence of fear. It's working through fear. Professionals don't tie their identity to their work. They don't crumble under criticism or rejection because they know their worth doesn't depend on others. They are patient, persistent, and disciplined. They keep coming back, as Pressfield says, because they know mastery is not about bursts of brilliance. It's about showing up again and again. Then, in the third part, Pressfield takes us beyond the battlefield, into the realm of inspiration, spirituality, and divine creativity. He believes that when we commit to our work wholeheartedly, the universe begins to assist us. Ideas start to flow. Opportunities align. The right people appear. It's as if invisible allies, what he calls muses or angels, come to our side when we do the work we were meant to do. But to receive that guidance, we must rise above our small self, the ego, which fears change, craves validation, and seeks safety, and connect to our higher self, the part of us linked to something greater, the part that yearns to grow, evolve, and create. Pressfield also introduces a powerful framework: territory versus hierarchy. In a hierarchy, we define ourselves by status, competition, and external validation. In a territory, we do the work for its own sake. A writer writes because they love writing, not because they want to be famous. An artist paints because it nourishes their soul, not because they crave approval. The territory gives back exactly what you put in. It's where authenticity thrives and true art is born. Ultimately, Pressfield reminds us that the greatest virtue of creative soul is not talent, but contempt for failure, the courage to keep creating regardless of outcome. Our work, he says, is not a performance, but an offering to the divine. When we show up, do the work, and release attachment, we honor the source from which our inspiration comes. And maybe that's the biggest lesson of the war of art. The only enemy standing between you and the life you're meant to live is you, the part of you that hesitates, that waits for the perfect moment, that listens to fear. There will never be a right time. There will never be a day when fear disappears. The moment you start, the first word you write, the first brushstroke, the first step, that's when you enter the sacred battlefield where your true self is forged. The war of art isn't just for artists or writers. It's for anyone with a dream, a mission, or a purpose. It's a reminder that creativity isn't a luxury. It's a duty. We were all born with a calling, and the only way to honor it is through action. So if you feel resistance, take it as a sign. You're on the right path. Show up, do the work, and keep fighting, not against the world, but against a voice inside that tells you to quit. Because beyond resistance lies the life you were born to live. And if you want to discover more life-changing books like this, stories that awaken your potential, fuel your spirit, and guide you toward your best self, don't forget to follow our channel, where we bring you the books that truly have the power to change your life.